English in Minutes. Short English lessons for real life. Hello, this is English in Minutes. I'm Olivia.
And I am Rob. Welcome back, everyone. We are so glad you are here with us today.
Now, Rob, let me ask you something. If a stranger walked up to you right now and said, "Tell me about yourself," what would you say?
Honestly, I would probably freeze for a moment. It sounds so simple, but it is actually one of the hardest questions in the English language.
It really is. And you know what is interesting? Most people, even native English speakers, find this question uncomfortable.
Exactly. And for English learners, it can feel even more overwhelming. You want to sound natural, you want to use the right words, but you're not sure where to begin.
So today, we are going to talk about exactly that, how to talk about yourself confidently in English. We'll look at what to say, how to structure it, and we'll teach you some really useful vocabulary along the way.
And before we go any further, we have a little multiple choice question for you. Here it is. When someone says, "Tell me about yourself" in a job interview, what should you focus on most? Is it A, your entire life story from childhood, B, your relevant experience, skills, and goals, or C, your hobbies and favorite foods?
Think about it. We'll come back to the answer a little later in the episode.
So, Olivia, let us start at the very beginning. When we talk about ourselves in English, there is actually a simple structure that works really well.
That's right. Most communication experts suggest a three-part approach. First, who you are. Second, what you do or have done. And third, where you're going, meaning your goals or interests.
And the key is not to rush. Many learners try to say everything at once, and it ends up sounding like a list rather than a conversation.
Exactly. Think of it like a short story. It should have a beginning, a middle, and a direction.
Now, the first vocabulary word I want to introduce today is the word background. Your background means where you come from, your experience, your education, your history.
Let's explain that word a little more. Background. Background. It refers to the experiences and knowledge that have shaped who you are. For example, you might say, "My background is in science, but I've always been passionate about writing."
A very useful word, and notice that when you share your background, you're not just listing facts, you're giving the other person a sense of your journey.
Absolutely. Now, the next word I want to highlight is passionate. We say someone is passionate about something when they feel very strongly about it, when it excites them deeply.
Let's explain that word. Passionate. Passionate. It means having a very strong interest or enthusiasm for something. For example, she's passionate about helping others learn English.
And this word is wonderful to use when you're talking about yourself because it shows energy and emotion. Instead of saying, "I like cooking," you could say, "I'm passionate about cooking." It sounds so much more powerful.
It really does make a difference. Now, Olivia, there's something else I think is important here. When people introduce themselves, they often forget to mention their values.
Oh, that is such a good point. Values are what you believe in, the things that matter most to you in life. And sharing your values helps people understand who you really are, not just what you do.
Which brings us to our next vocabulary word. The word is value, used here as a noun. A value is a principle or belief that guides your behavior. For example, one of my core values is honesty.
Let's explain that word. Value, V-A-L-U-E. In this context, it means something that is important to you at a deep level. You might say, "My values include kindness, curiosity, and hard work."
And actually, research in social psychology shows that when people share their values early in a conversation, others tend to trust them more quickly. It creates a genuine connection.
That is such an interesting insight. It's not just about impressing someone, it's about connecting with them.
Now, here's a reflective question for our listeners. Think for a moment. If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would those words be? It's worth thinking about before your next introduction.
I love that question, and I think the answer changes over time, which is also a beautiful thing.
It really does. Now, let us talk about one of the most common mistakes people make when introducing themselves. They focus only on their job title.
Yes, saying I'm an engineer or I'm a student is fine, but it doesn't tell people very much about you as a person.
Which is why we want to introduce the word multifaceted. This is a slightly advanced word, but it's very useful. Multifaceted means having many different sides or qualities.
Let's explain that word. Multifaceted. multifaceted. It describes something or someone with many different aspects. For example, she's a multifaceted person. She's a teacher, a painter, and a marathon runner.
Using a word like this to describe yourself or others immediately shows a rich level of English. And it reminds us that we are more than our job titles.
Exactly. Now, another phrase that comes up a lot when talking about yourself is I tend to. This is a softer, more natural way of describing your habits or personality.
Let's explain that phrase. I tend to means I usually do something, or it's my general pattern of behavior. For example, I tend to be quite organized, but I also enjoy being spontaneous sometimes.
It's a phrase that makes you sound thoughtful and self-aware, which is always a good impression to make.
And our final vocabulary item today is the word aspiration. An aspiration is a hope or ambition, something you're working towards in the future.
Let's explain that word, aspiration. Aspiration. It means a strong desire to achieve something. For example, my aspiration is to work internationally and help communities through education.
Sharing your aspirations when you talk about yourself is powerful because it shows that you are forward thinking. You're not just defined by your past, you're building towards something.
And it gives the conversation somewhere to go. People naturally want to ask more when they hear about your goals.
Now, I promised we would come back to our multiple choice question. The question was, when someone says, tell me about yourself in a job interview, what should you focus on most? A, your entire life story from childhood. B, your relevant experience, skills, and goals. Or C, your hobbies and favorite foods.
And the answer is B, your relevant experience, skills, and goals. You want to give the interviewer a clear, focused picture of who you are in relation to the role.
Of course, a small personal detail can make you memorable, but the heart of your answer should always connect back to why you're the right person for the opportunity.
Well said. Now let's do our vocabulary recap. This is your chance to review everything we covered today.
Our first word was background. It means your history, your experience, and the things that have shaped you. Example, my background is in marketing and communications.
Our second word was passionate. It means having a strong and deep enthusiasm for something. Example, he's passionate about environmental issues.
Third, we had value as a noun. A value is a belief or principle that guides your life. Example, respect is one of my most important values.
Fourth was multifaceted. It means having many different sides or qualities. For example, she's a multifaceted professional with experience in both law and design.
Fifth was the phrase, I tend to. It means I usually do something, or it describes a pattern in your behavior. For example, I tend to stay calm under pressure.
And our final word was aspiration. It means a goal or ambition you're working towards. Example, my aspiration is to one day lead my own company.
Wonderful. 6 vocabulary items that will genuinely help you the next time someone asks you to talk about yourself.
And remember, talking about yourself is not about being boastful. It's about being clear, honest, and genuine. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel.
We hope today's episode gave you both the words and the confidence to introduce yourself beautifully in English. Thank you so much for listening to English in Minutes.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking.